Super Mario Strikers. Please come to Switch. Please bring your golden goalie glory to Nintendo Switch. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from Switch Force. Gabe is here, and after the recent announcement and reveal of Mario Tennis Aces, we got to thinking, why hasn't the best Mario sports franchise been in action lately? Where has it been? We haven't gotten a new one since 2007. What is going on? And that is why we're here to talk about the king of the castle when it comes to Mario Sports, the cream of the crop, the Bowser to the Booze, the most stylized, snazzy, sidekick-stuffed sports game that Mario has ever been a part of, and it is the Strikers franchise.
And it is a franchise that has done well. Super Mario Strikers on GameCube sold 1.61 million back in 2005. You mentioned Strikers Charge came out in 2007. That sold 2.59 million. So they're good sellers. I just don't know why they don't make them as often as tennis. And obviously, this is a franchise that people want. Whenever we make a Mario Tennis mention, they always say, yeah, but what about Strikers? And Zach, I want you to tell me what your favorite part about this franchise is.
I think the best thing that they did with Strikers, both titles, the original Strikers on GameCube, Charged on Wii, developed by Next Level Games, I think what they did so smartly here is they took the traditional Mushroom Kingdom cutesy, bright, vibrant nature and flipped it on its head. They devised a whole new style and a whole new just look for the world and for the characters. They outfitted Mario & Co. in much more like sci-fi, edgy attire. They brought in all these elements that you don't traditionally expect from the lore of the Mushroom Kingdom, right? It looks nothing like the Mushroom Kingdom. I think that is so cool, and at first blush, that pulls people in. And look, these are no slouches when they come to sales. As you mentioned, Gabe, they sold really well. And they just to be clear, Strikers Charge was re-released as a digital download for Wii U in 2016, but there hasn't been a new iteration for nearly over a decade now, which to me is bonkers, because this game does something super smart, which is it takes the concept of soccer, but then adds the elements of Mario and makes a unique, in some ways better game that is still hardcore and gameplay centric. They do not simplify things to the point of boredom. They do not casualify things to the point of just silliness. It very much is a hardcore sports title, but one that feels totally Mario-ified, totally Nintendo-ified. You know, they added all these power-ups, all these special shots. They added the sidekicks. You're able to craft your team, and it really matters who you pick. Their powers are the powers that those enemies and those sidekicks have. So when you use Birdo, you're going to get her big egg. When you use Boo, you're going to be teleporting around. It is the perfect coming together. It's like a concert of all the characters from Mario, utilizing their God-given abilities to make this amazing sports franchise.
Yeah, and it's a game that, switch thematically, right? Play together, play locally together. Absolutely perfect fit, just like any other sports game would be on Switch. So I don't feel like this one stands out in that aspect, but I have super fond memories of just like playing with my cousins, the original, just like sitting there and taking turns and getting really, really angry when you lost, because that meant you had to pass the controller. And it's such a awesome experience that I wish I could replicate. But yeah, I feel like this with online play would be phenomenal. Like, think about it, Zach. You being where you are, me being where I am, me just destroying you in this. I think it would be a great time. And since it's been gone for so long, the modern things that we have now in gaming, such as lobbies and matchmaking, it can be introduced to the franchise, and hopefully even people that are new Nintendo fans maybe got introduced with the Wii U. We know that we have a lot of young fans that have maybe never even played one of these games, because, like you said, 10 years at this point. It's a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. And personally, I'd be okay with a remastered re-release or a new entry entirely, but I think it's important that they stick to the core of what makes this game special, and that is, it reminds me of Smash Brothers, right? You take a fighting game and then you spruce it up with Nintendo style, and it makes Smash better. Mario Strikers takes soccer, adds all of these power-ups and all of these ideas from Nintendo and from Mario, and it makes a better product. I feel like a lot of the Mario sports games simplify things down and then just happen to have Mario participating. And that's not cool. The original Mario Baseball, to me, is another really great example of a Mario sports game that utilizes elements from the characters and from the other franchises to its advantage. And tennis is occasionally doing that, but for the most part, it's much more simplified. Golf and tennis, there's not a lot that you can play with. You can have cool courses, you can have cool, super shots. We don't know exactly how complex or how simplified tennis Aces is. I don't think people liked Ultra Smash all that much, but maybe the reintroduction of single player and campaign will push this one over the top. But even in the second iteration, it was fun with motion, and there were some questionable ideas. They added this weird special strike where you can shoot up to like 6 shots. It's called the Mega Strike, and it got a little goofy because you could score 6 goals at once.
Yeah, I remember that, yes.
So they did try and almost Mario Kart style add this slingshot mechanic that could equalize a game even if it was out of control. But if you are a good player, you could definitely stop that. And it kind of added just another element of skill and control to the matches where now you have to be effective at motion. And not because it's like cutesy and gimmicky, but because it's a part of the game that you cannot ignore. And I think I would prefer to have that removed, but it is a testament to the Strikers franchise that even with motion, it was super fun. And shaking the Wii Remote for a devastating tackle was a cool addition. It's fast-paced, it's fun, it's still soccer, but it's very party-esque in a way that the best Nintendo iterations of more basic ideas are. They take a fighter and they doll it up and you've got Smash Bros, right? They take a racer and you doll it up and you got Mario Kart. They take soccer and you spice it up with this sci-fi snazziness and you get Strikers. And the sales speak for itself. This wasn't a game that was like, oh, really cool and a really bold idea, but then just like bombed. It did well, and there's no excuse, frankly, to not bring it back.
I mean, you have to think it's in the works, right? It's such a perfect fit. The franchise has been dormant for so long. You have to imagine that it's coming. And, you know, just going back and seeing some gameplay for the edit of the video, like seeing like big Mario like run around like just dwarfing like every other player like on the field, like it's cool like to use like power ups like that. So I asked you this question off air, but I asked like, hey, do you think that there's any chance that we get like this and Aces in the same year? You're like, no way. But I don't know, hopefully next year, right? Because there's no way that they never make another one of these.
I mean, I would hope so. I think it's, you know, some of the Mario sports games have struggled. Some of the handheld ones have been really dumbed down versions, and they try to pack so much in. And it went the way of Mario Party, where instead of building upon ideas, they kind of removed ideas, which I did not like at all. So I hope you're right. I hope they do bring it back. I think it's a little odd that tennis was the go-to choice instead of Strikers. I'm not really quite sure why. Maybe there's some development reason. Maybe there's some internal passion for tennis that we don't know about. But I think that, look, this is a game where you can have freaking Princess Peach grow wings and fly above the stage with a halo, emitting a freaking light beam, firing the ball towards Critter the goalie. This is a game where freaking Yoshi can get red hot, sprout wings again, and then just fireball down towards the goalie. This is a game where blue shells are rolling around the stadium. This is a game where Waluigi is a freaking menace. He looks evil, and I love it. I love that there's like anger and passion in the game. Bowser looks just downright nasty. He's got like Wolverine claws, like he's going to tear you apart. And I do wonder, and this is just a little food for thought, is this cool styling part of the reason that the franchise has been missing for 10 years? Is it something that Nintendo shied away from in that it did not fit the traditional mold and the traditional appearance of Mario and his cohorts?
But I feel like maybe that's going away a little bit. More chances are being taken. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, you know, introduced like guns and weapons. Like, I mean, not you know, he's had weapons before in the form of hammers and stuff in the RPGs, but guns, right? So, and that's still like a very cutesy game and stuff. But you're right. Like, maybe that has something to do with it. Who knows? But I, for one, am super excited for this to come back. I do believe it comes back at some point, and now it's just a waiting game.
I sure hope so. So let us know, 1, if you're pumped for this, 2, what you liked about the games, and 3, what you hope for in a new iteration. I think it would be great, as they've done with Mario Kart, if they were able to incorporate some other Nintendo characters. Like, absolutely give us Baby Bowser, absolutely give us Donkey Kong, absolutely give us Wario and Daisy and Peach.
In the game.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, absolutely give us these guys that are previously there, but bring in some new characters. Like, it'd be great to have a Squid Kid sidekick. It would be awesome to have an ARMS captain.
Zach, think about the power-ups for the Squid Kids. Oh,
they get to slime their way through the stadiums. And look, we didn't even touch on the stadiums, but this is a game that had, again, it utilized the lore of Mario in such an awesome way. You got the Thwomps smashing down in the middle of the field. You can't play on the traditional stadium, which is where I typically played, just so you didn't have to deal with too many gimmicks. But if you wanted, they were there. You had lava stadiums, you had all sorts of wastelands with freaking lightning coming down, you had crystal caves, you had just insane ideas, and they kind of went bonkers. It almost felt like a fan project, right? There was that much passion, that much creativity, and I hope that that kind of creativity is not why it has gone dormant. I hope that Nintendo allows that to be brought back, and I hope we get Mario Strikers soon in some form or another. Even if it's not a new game, freaking re-release the old one with online, and I will clap my way straight to soccer heaven. Let us know your take in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all the latest and greatest from the Switch and the sports titles that bear Mario's mantle. Until that time, everybody, follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/theswitchforce, link in the description below. Come tell us what you like about football and how you're angry that we called it soccer. Till then, though, for myself and Gabe, have a fantastic day. Switch Force, out.